Hey folks, it's me, it's Joe, and I am back from MAGFest. Back from MAGFest doesn't really make sense because MAGFest happens in the city that I live in, so I'm not really back from MAGFest, it's just that MAGFest is over. Actually, technically MAGFest is still going for like another hour, but it's over for me because I usually don't go on Sunday because since I live in the area, it's a big hassle to go there, and Sunday things wrap up at like 5 o'clock, so it's just not really worth it for me to go all the way over there unless there's something I really, really want to see, which this year on Sunday, sorry anybody who was doing something on Sunday, there wasn't really anything that I really wanted to see. But I had a blast at MAGFest, and we're going to go through what I got. We're going to open some grab bags here live on camera like I like to do, and see, you know, what MAGFest brought me, or what I brought from MAGFest, I guess would be more appropriate. So let's start with like little trinkety things. So first thing, this, it's going to be hard to see, but it's a little dog tag. So every year MAGFest has like a theme with the badges and everything. Like, there's a very Star Foxy theme this year. This is my badge. It says pilot. And then if you were like an organizer, you get a different kind of badge, and you could pay for a higher level badge, which got you into VIP party things and stuff. I'm just not really into that, so yeah, so this dog tag is this was a prize. I came in second place. I got to the finals of a Slam Masters 2 Ring of Destruction tournament last night, and this is worth $10 in the vendor hall, but by the time the tournament ended, because it started at midnight, most of the vendor hall was closed, and I actually just think this looks kind of cool, so I'm just going to keep it. And then we've got, this is a card from Regen Gaming, which I don't even know why I picked that up, because I'm going to open a grab bag from them, but this is a thing, this is fun. There was a booth, and I don't remember the name of it now, but they do a thing called Fantasy Costco, which is sort of like a grab bag of... It's not like a grab bag, it's like... I mean, it is, but you know some of the stuff that's in there, and mostly it's like, it's Pringles and a soda and some candy and stuff, and it's just, like, it's a good way to get some sustenance at MAGFest easily, especially because the hotel just charges an arm and a leg for everything. Like a 20-ounce bottle of soda is $4 at the Gaylord Convention Center in National Harbor. So I just always bring stuff from home. Like, I have a backpack that has, I don't know if they're meant for sodas, I don't think they are, but it's got like little pockets on the side of my backpack so I can slide a soda in there. So I usually go with 2 sodas, and that lasts me like the whole day, and I get them at the 7-Eleven that's like a block away from my apartment, and then I pay like $1.50 for... But anyways, sometimes, you know, you're in a pinch, and it's like this Fantasy Costco thing, again, it's like a little snack pack, and it's nice, and it supports one of the vendors who's there, not the giant hotel who's already making a ton of money on the show. So this is the card that, each one of those comes with a little card. They all look like this on the front, which I think is just fun. It's got the Extreme Teen Bible, and a lawn gnome, and an umbrella, and a fork, and either a goldfish or like a fighting beta fish, stuck in like a Christmas ornament, and a D20, and you know, whatever. And then on the back it says what you get. And I got Bugbear Bait, which was actually a dog squeaky toy, which I'm not sure if I'm actually going to give it to my dog or not, because he eats that. He will literally eat it. So, but I like the little card, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I'm going to hang on to it. Okay, let's do arts and crafts next. Okay. So, stickers are a thing that I love, and I don't remember the name of all these studios. This one, it's like a watercolor of a Super Nintendo controller on, like, waterproof vinyl, which doesn't matter because I'm going to put it on my computer. But this is from Studio Pen, I think is the name. Frank Cifaldi hooked me up with a Video Game History Foundation sticker. Thanks, Frank. He had some sheets of Psycho Soldier stickers that were like repros of vintage stickers that went with the SNK 40th, and he gave a bunch of those away. I was close to him when he was handing them out, but I didn't, like, it wasn't that important to me, and there were a bunch of people who seemed like they really wanted them, because I was more in it for the SNK thing than Psycho Soldier specifically. I don't think Psycho Soldier is that good of a game, and I don't use that team in King of Fighters. Like, there are people who are big Athena fans. from King of Fighters and stuff like that, and I was just like, eh, but then he had these, and he was like, oh, I still have these, and I was like, I will definitely take a Video Game History Foundation sticker, and everybody should check out gamehistory.org, which is the website. If you're not familiar with Frank Cifaldi, he was, when we used to do podcasts, he was on 2 episodes of our podcast. He talked about Bioforce Ape, right when they finally got the real, legit prototype of Bioforce Ape. He came on the stick, and that was actually our most listened to episode of the show, I think forever. I don't think it ever got surpassed, even by the drafts and other things people liked. I think Frank was always it. I think it was the only podcast, or one of the only podcasts we did that had like more than 1,000 downloads when we were on Libsyn and stuff. So yeah, I gave him some magazines and stuff for his magazine archive. So Frank and I have been acquainted, I guess, for a while, and I certainly wouldn't say, I think saying that we're friends would definitely be overstating our relationship. We've been acquainted, and I support all the stuff he does, and you probably should too if you're watching this, because I think you have an investment in game history as well. I don't remember the studio that I got this from, but this is a little chibi Terry Bogard, and because I do use Terry Bogard in King of Fighters, and I saw this, and I don't remember how much it was, but I mean, they're vinyl stickers, so it wasn't very much. That's also going to go on my computer. And then, so this is where I spent most of my art money, was at the booth that Tiny Ninja and Square Painter, they're partners, spouses, I'm honestly not sure. They live together. But that's where I spent most of the money I spent at the convention actually was on this stuff. So I got this is a vinyl sticker that if you don't know who, so Tiny Ninja, you might know her because she's made props for the AVGN, like the Robo Nerd costume, and the when he did the wrestling episode and the giant Super Nintendo cartridge wrestles him, she made that piece as well. So that's how you may know her. But she also does art, and she does Twitch streams, I guess, where she draws live. And it's just at Tiny Ninja, apparently, on all of the things, according to this card. So that's TINYNEENJA. So check out her stuff. Anyways, she did this sticker of transformed Dracula from Rondo of Blood / the beginning of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Not Bloodlines, as the American version of Symphony of the Night will tell you. That is not correct. It's Rondo of Blood, but this is a drawing of the. I don't know if you can really see it because it's kind of dark from over there, but it's dope. And that also will go on my computer, of course. But then I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. It's a print, but I saw this, and these size prints, I think she was selling for $5 if I remember correctly. And I just couldn't pass it up. Like, it's William Birkin transformed by the G-Virus, and he's having a tea party. Like, that's so weird that I could not pass it up. I don't know how many of these she sold. I'm gonna guess like 1 to me, because this seems like a thing that would appeal to a very specific demographic of people who would think it's funny that William Birkin is having a tea party. But I am that person for sure, so I had to get it. Again, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this, because it's too big to fit on my shelf here, and I mean, I should probably just get a frame for it, or maybe I'll magnet it like to my filing cabinet at work. And then whenever I get annoyed at work, I can just look at it and it will make me smile because it's so ridiculous. So ridiculous, but also great. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do with that, but I'm going to do something with it. And of course, let's do that one second. Like I said, Square Painter. So this is not a print. This is an actual stretched canvas, a tiny stretched canvas of Ms. Pac-Man. And he had a whole bunch of, not Ms. Pac-Man, he only had one Ms. Pac-Man, but he had a whole bunch of really small canvases. This was the first year, I think, at MAGFest that he'd done these tiny canvases, which he charges $25 for, which is totally legit. He had one that was like an E-Tank. He had one that was the Jump and Slash icon from Ninja Gaiden. He had one that was like a tiny Jason Voorhees from NES Friday the 13th, which I thought about buying, and then by the time I came back and was like, maybe I will buy that, it was gone. But this is sort of like the cheapest thing you can get from Square Painter, and they're totally worth it. They're like I said, 25 bucks, and he's got a. I'm gonna link all the people that I can think of or that I know the information of. I'm gonna link in the description. But if you're not aware of Square Painter, like, check him out, and if this is the kind of stuff that you would like to have, and I have another. So he used to paint on boards. So some of you probably recognize this guy, but this is on a flat board, and he doesn't paint on these anymore. He only does stretched canvases now. You know, I've thought about upgrading this to a stretched canvas, but I like it, and I still have it. And it sits on top of my shelf. And I could buy other stuff from him, like this Ms. Pac-Man, or... So this is gonna go, I don't know exactly where yet, but this is gonna go somewhere, you know, on the shelf. And if I didn't mention already, the reason that I got this is because Ms. Pac-Man is my favorite classic arcade game, and one of my favorite games, just like sort of full stop. So haven't decided exactly where, but somewhere we'll find a spot for her. You know, and then, since I bought one, he made me a deal on a bigger one. So, I think these are 40 typically from him. This is Bill Reiser from Contra, which, as I think most people watching this know, is my favorite game of all time. So, yeah, I'm not sure where this is going to go, because, again, this is one that it's... Well, actually, maybe that will fit on a shelf. But obviously, ultimately, I'd like to have a place big enough where I can just hang it on a nail on the wall somewhere. But we'll see. But again, really, just if this is the kind of stuff that you're into, if this is the kind of art you would want to have, and I like this more than just like a print of, like I could find a good quality image, or I could capture a good quality image of Contra, and then I could, like, print it out and put it on my wall, but it's not, there's a craftsmanship to this that I think is cooler than just like, oh, I just printed this off. Like, the layouts that he does, and that it's not completely perfect squares because it's done by a human hand. Like, yeah, I'm into this. So he did a bunch of stuff, and it was hard for me to decide like which ones I wanted to get, because obviously I don't have room or money to just be like, give me everything on your table. So I sort of narrowed it down to some of my very favorite games. So now let's talk about games. And I don't buy games the same way that I used to. So if you've seen in the past, especially, I think probably the biggest ones were like some of the trips I took to Too Many Games, where like the pickups video was just like I have a duffel bag full of video games. I don't consume games as much that way anymore, partially because I'm running out of space, but more so because the market is getting out of control, and I have most of what I really want. So there are certain things that I will look for at a convention that I will keep an eye out for a good deal on. I've been doing a lot more. If you watched my pickups video from the Midwest Gaming Classic last year, in 2018, you know that I got a bunch of disc-based games, because right now, really, PS2, GameCube, and Xbox are at a premium for the most part. There are a couple of things. In fact, there's a game that I'm looking for that is pretty high on that scale. Def Jam Fight for New York, which is a game that I'm sort of forever looking for. Complete copies of that, depending on which version, are in like the $80 range, which is kind of ridiculous for a PS2 game, but, you know, whatever. It's a good game. It's got a recognizable license. It'll probably never be re-released because license. So there's stuff like that, but you know, you can get a lot of really good. I got Def Jam Vendetta for pretty cheap at the Midwest Gaming Classic, a disc-only copy, and so even PS1 and N64 stuff isn't really hitting its stride, except for the super rare games, but a lot of those you can get super cheap. And I think most anything that I would want on the NES that's available cheap, like I have it, so I just don't. And it gets harder and harder, especially with the advent of the EverDrive and the number of EverDrives I have. Like, it's a really hard sell for me to, you know, look at an NES game that costs $90 that hasn't been re-released on the Switch or on the Virtual Console or anywhere and just be like, yeah, that's worth $90. Like, no, I'm not going to pay a dealer $90 for a game that I can just load on to an EverDrive, and the only person who's losing money on that is the secondhand seller, not the person who made it, not the IP holder. So I just, that's a lot to do with it. So the only games that I actually got at this show were grab bags. So let's do that. So these are from Regen Games. You have seen me open grab bags from them a number of times at Too Many Games, Midwest Gaming Classic, and this time it's basically they had ones for systems that I don't have EverDrives for, and I thought that would be the best way to sort of make the most out of these purchases. So we got a GBA and an N64 bag. We will start with the N64 because it's bigger and heavier. Body Harvest. This is actually a pretty good game, I think, or I've heard. One that I don't believe I already have, and if I'm not mistaken, this was released by Midway, but I think, if I'm thinking of the right game, this is the one that is sort of a proto 3D Grand Theft Auto, because it's got a sci-fi trapping, but it's kind of open worldy. There are different vehicles, and it was developed by DMA Design, who would become Rockstar North. I believe that's this game. I could be thinking of something else, but I'm pretty sure it's this one. Monster Truck Madness 64. Developed by Rockstar and published by Microsoft, according to the game pack. This was a Blockbuster rental, according to the back. I don't know anything about this, but it's a Rockstar game, so that's interesting, which makes it, I guess, technically two Rockstar games in a way that I got here. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but hey, as I've said many times, I think that the N64 has more great, especially arcade-style racing games than perhaps any other platform ever, and I don't know if that's one of them, but I'm certainly willing to give it a shot. Tetrasphere. This is a weird sort of Tetris game, but not really. I don't quite remember, but it's an early N64 game, but it is, again, I'm pretty sure one that I don't have, so I actually think all three of those I don't have. Maybe I have Body Harvest? I don't think so, though. So that was a success. Let's see what's in the GBA. Capcom Classics Mini Mix. This is kind of dope just because it was the most affordable way for a long time to get... Actually, it might still be the most affordable way to get Mighty Final Fight. But the resolution isn't quite right, so you usually lose a couple lines, so either things look squashy on NES GBA games, or like they just cut off the top of the screen or part of the bottom of the screen. Unfortunately, the worst part about this is that I do already have this game, and I actually have a boxed copy. It's behind me somewhere. Oh, it's right there. Yeah. So, I already have a boxed copy of this, so... Maybe I'll give it away or something. Life, Yahtzee, and Payday. So two of those games, I know what they are. I don't know what Payday is. It sounds kind of similar to Life. But this is from DSI. Is that the name of the company? It's so small I can barely read it. But I think they're kind of notorious for shovelware. These are board game video games. I mean, that's interesting that it exists. Mario Party Advance. So this is cool because it's a Mario game in a grab bag, but I hate Mario Party maybe more than anything. So, like, anytime somebody brings up Mario Party, I either share the Penny Arcade comic from, like, 2004 about Mario Party, or the compilation video that someone put on YouTube of Jeff Gerstmann just, like, continually getting screwed over in Mario Party and getting mad about it from Giant Bomb. Yeah, that's pretty much how I sum up my feelings on Mario Party. So, I don't know, this is cool, I guess. Maybe the GBA version isn't as bad because it's all pixel arty, and so it probably looks better at least. Unless it's like pre-rendered sprites. I don't know. I don't know. Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and this is another one from DSi Games, and I can see the logo's bigger here, so it is DSi. They must have had a contract with, I guess, Hasbro. Does Hasbro own Rock'em Sock'em? Hasbro owns everything, right? They're just like the toy monolith. I guess it could be Mattel. I don't know. Anyways, Rock'em Sock'em Robots, the video game. That seems like a bad idea on the face of it, but, like, who knows? Maybe it's some sort of weird hidden gem. Super Monkey Ball Jr. I don't have a lot of experience with this one, but I do like the Monkey Ball games. This one was released by THQ and Sega, which is weird. I feel like the way Monkey Ball works with you tilting the world sort of is really restrictive and not 3D, but this could be great. I don't know. It's a Sega game, so a couple of these are pretty exciting. Yeah, that's it. And then, of course, there's a card in there, which I absolutely do not need. So yeah, that's my pickups for MAGFest. The whole thing was a blast. I had a lot of fun playing in tournaments. I played a mystery fighting game tournament that was really weird, but also super fun. Sorry, mystery game tournament. It wasn't just fighting games. Like, somebody had to play as Super Zaxxon. Yeah, that was super fun and weird, and full of weird games. And I played in the Saturday Night Slam Masters 2 tournament, which was a lot of fun, and just that's one of the things I love about MAGFest, is like nobody else is doing Saturday Night Slam Masters 2 tournament. You know, that's just not happening anywhere besides MAGFest that I'm aware of. Talked to Square Painter and Tiny Ninja quite a bit. Those folks are great. I talked to my friend Adrian, who had a panel about Balloon Fight and Joust. His girlfriend is working on a game that was there that I played that was fun. It was like a sort of puzzly, platformery thing. That was cool. Talked with Frank Cifaldi for a little bit. That was great. I saw some viewers and Patreon supporters and people I've seen from the comment sections of these videos and everything who said hi and talked for a little bit and that kind of stuff. And thanks for saying hi. And I'm really glad that you were around and that you said hi. Oh, I actually didn't buy anything from Mad Gear for the first time in a really long time. I've been buying games from him since I started going to the Midwest Gaming Classic, or at least since he's been at the Midwest Gaming Classic, which I think was pretty much the whole time. So I didn't buy anything from him, which is weird. This is weird for me, but he had a copy of the first Virtual Pro Wrestling on N64 that I almost bought, and then when I came back and was like, you know, I'm just going to grab it, it was gone. I already have the second one, which I know is the better one, but I wouldn't mind having the first one just to sort of have it and be like, hey, it's a weird artifact. But I didn't buy anything from him, but I did say hi, talk to him a bit. Really great to see him. And yeah, if I'm forgetting anyone, I'm sorry. It was a busy weekend. 3 days for me, 4 days total, but 3 days for me, just jam-packed with panels and playing games and shopping and hanging out, concerts. I saw MC Front a lot. I went to the Chip Rave last night after the Saturday Night Slam Masters tournament. That was a bunch of fun. It was just, you know, all kinds of stuff going on. If you've never been to MAGFest, I really, really recommend that you try to get out to it. Or now they do events all over the place, like MAGWest is happening in the fall, I want to say, and that's in San Francisco. They're doing an event, I think, in the Twin Cities. So if you've never been to MAGFest, highly recommend it. That's it for me. Thanks for watching, and look for a new episode of one of the regular shows soon. Soonish. Soon. Talk to you later.